Hello everyone! Welcome to Untold Story, the channel where we explore the most intriguing and often forgotten episodes of history. Today we move to Renaissance Italy to talk about the Pazzi Conspiracy, a plot that shook the city of Florence and had significant consequences for the powerful Medici family and the future of the city. This event was an attempt to overthrow the Medici family, which at the time ruled Florence with great influence under the leadership of Lorenzo de Medici and his brother Giuliano. This plot was organized by the Pazzi family, a wealthy rival Florentine family, in collaboration with important figures of the church and with the support of Pope Sixtus IV himself. The conspiracy aimed to assassinate Lorenzo and his brother Giuliano during Easter Mass in the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, the spiritual and political heart of the city of Florence. Renaissance Italy was a land of independent city-states such as Florence, Venice, Milan, and Naples, each of which competed for power, prestige, and wealth. These were ruled by noble families and wealthy merchants who wielded considerable power through their control over political institutions, finance, and the church. Florence, in particular, was famous for being a center of commerce and banking, and the Medici family had become the city's dominant dynasty thanks to their success in banking business and their ability to skillfully handle political affairs. Under the leadership of Cosimo, Lorenzo's grandfather, the Medici consolidated their influence in Florence, funding important works of art and architecture that helped beautify the city and strengthen its status as one of the cultural capitals of the Renaissance. By the time Lorenzo inherited power after the death of his father Piero in 1469, the family was already extremely influential in Florence. Lorenzo was a charismatic leader and a patron of art, patronizing artists such as Sandro Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, and Michelangelo. However, his power also made him many enemies, both inside Florence and outside the city. Among the Medici's enemies was the Pazzi family, another influential Florentine family vying for control of finances and political power. The Pazzi were known for their vast wealth and for their alliance with Pope Sixtus IV, who also had reasons to oppose the Medici. Sixtus IV had become pope in 1471 and had become embroiled in the political intrigues of the time. One of the main sources of conflict between the Medici and Sixtus IV was control over the wealthy city of Imola, which was in dispute between the Pope and Florence. Conspiracy was planned with the support of several important actors. In addition to the Pazzi and Sixtus IV, others involved in the plot included Francesco Salviati, Archbishop of Pisa and a bitter enemy of the Medici, and mercenaries hired to carry out the assassination. The goal was to eliminate the Medici brothers in a swift and accurate blow, and then take control of the government of Florence and end their rule. The plan was to assassinate Lorenzo and Giuliano during Easter Mass on April 26, 1478, in the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. This setting was not chosen at random, as the cathedral was the epicenter of religious life in Florence, and at Easter it would be packed with influential citizens, making the murder have a strong symbolic impact. In addition, the presence of so many important people in one place also guaranteed that the confusion that would follow the attack could be exploited by the conspirators to take control of the city. On the day of the plot, the brothers attended Mass, accompanied by their bodyguards and some of their closest allies. However, Giuliano was ill and almost did not attend the event, which complicated the original plan. Despite this, the conspirators decided to go ahead with the attack. During the Mass, while citizens and nobles were praying in the cathedral, the murderers approached the Medici brothers. The attack was swift and violent. Giuliano de Medici was stabbed 19 times and died almost instantly. Lorenzo, for his part, was wounded, but managed to escape with his life thanks to the intervention of his bodyguards and friends, who protected him while they took him to a safe place in the sacristy of the cathedral. The failure to assassinate Lorenzo was a devastating blow to the conspirators, as Lorenzo's survival allowed the Medici to mount a quick response to the attack. The reaction was relentless. Just hours after the failed attempt, forces loyal to the Medici took control of the city, arresting and executing the conspirators. Francesco de Pazzi and Francesco Salviati were captured and publicly executed that same day, hanging from the windows of the Palazzo della Signoria, a symbol of the power of the Medici. Popular fury against the conspirators was unleashed, and many of those involved in the plot were lynched by the mob or killed by forces loyal to the Medici. The failed plot not only failed in its goal of overthrowing the Medici, but in fact further strengthened Lorenzo's power in Florence. The repercussions of the Pazzi Conspiracy extended far beyond the borders of Florence. Plot also had international consequences, as Pope Sixtus IV, furious at the failure of the conspiracy and the execution of his ally Francesco Salviati, excommunicated Lorenzo de Medici and declared war on Florence. This marked the beginning of a conflict known as the War of the Pazzi, in which the Pope allied with the Kingdom of Naples to punish Florence for the execution of conspirators and the challenge to its authority. During this conflict, Florence was forced to face not only the papal troops, but also the forces of King Ferdinand I of Naples. Despite being at a military disadvantage, Lorenzo proved to be a shrewd strategist and used his diplomatic skills to negotiate a peace that would keep Florence out of papal control. One of the highlights of this war was Lorenzo's famous trip to Naples in 1479, where he met face-to-face with King Ferdinand. Through skillful negotiations, Lawrence managed to persuade Ferdinand to break his alliance with Sixtus IV and sign a separate peace with Florence, which ended the war. The failure of this conspiracy and Lorenzo's success in the War of the Pazzi consolidated the power of the Medici in Florence for decades. Lorenzo emerged from these events not only as the undisputed leader of the city, but also as a key figure in Italian Renaissance politics. During his rule, Florence experienced an unprecedented cultural renaissance, and his court became a center of art, literature, and philosophy. However, the plot and its aftermath also left a deep mark on the city's culture and history. The Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore became a symbol of the Medici's resistance against their enemies, and the legend of the conspiracy was immortalized in popular memory and in Renaissance literature. Today, the Pazzi Conspiracy remains one of the most fascinating episodes of the Italian Renaissance, a time when art, politics, and treason were intrinsically intertwined. Through the story of this failed plot, we can better understand the forces that shaped the destiny of Florence and all of Italy. Thank you for joining us in this new episode. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell for more untold story content. See you in the next one.